Hello. This is alertwolf here. Gonna bring you another DC Nation review, and this one is of Green Lantern, the animated series, episode 17, called Blue Hope. Now, having said that, it is great to be back doing a DC Nation review. It has been a long time since I had to do one, and I'm glad, it's great to be doing them again. It's great to have Green Lantern and Young Justice back on the air. Now, I know, because what Cartoon Network did to them was kind of wrong, but all the dust has settled and they're back where they're supposed to be. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, but Alert Wolf, there were new episodes last week. Actually, because of the whole fiasco, iTunes did release those episodes early, and then they pulled them. But somebody on YouTube managed to post them. So I think they're DC Nation videos. Alright, but yeah, so I had already seen them and reviewed them. So last week wasn't new for me. It was, although they were great episodes, these are really the new episodes. And having said this, the teaser trailer they put out before releasing these episodes was amazing. You saw what looked like the Orange Lanterns and Laffreeze, which is he's a great character. Love Laffreeze. You saw Static being Static, which is great. I love Static. And I'll get more into the Young Justice stuff when I do my Young Justice review after this. But, it's just great to be back doing these DC Nation reviews. And, so let me jump right into the Green Lantern. Basically, this episode is going to be about, obviously, the Blue Lanterns, which are my personal favorite lanterns. Like, if I could be any one lantern, it'd be the blue. Love the blue. Actually, I would rock the green and blue, so I'd be super badass. But I mean, I love the Blue Lanterns. I love the fact that they're the men of faith in the DC universe's universe, and I dig that. This episode had Gannett in it, which is my favorite Guardian. The fact that he made the Blue Lanterns is great. And Saint Walker, it's funny. I wanted the Blue Lantern to be human, at first. But Saint Walker's turned into such a great character that I absolutely love Saint Walker. And, there was a comic in the old DCU that had his origin. And his origin was messed up, and I'll just quickly tell it real fast. It's not like it was in the cartoon. Basically, his origin was, this is how he got the blue ring. His planet is dying. I think the sun on his planet was going out. And there was a prophecy or legend that if they went to a certain mountain, climbed to the top of it and prayed, they'd be delivered and saved. And their savior would appear. And he took his whole family with him on the journey, on this dangerous journey, to try to save the day. And throughout the process of the journey, his whole family dies. But he never loses hope. He gets to the top of the mountain, and I think there was like a reflective surface that only showed him, and there was no savior. And he still had hope. And he prayed out to the heavens, and right then and there, the blue ring came to him. And he was able to save the day and reignite his son. But he still lost his whole family. People regarded him as fools along the way, but he managed to do what he needed to do, because all will be well. You know what I'm saying? And he gets the ring. I mean, hell, in Blackest Night, I mean, come on, for Blue Lanterns, Barry Allen gets the ring. You know what I mean? All will be well, and that was cool to see the Blue Lantern flash. But anyway, enough of the side note there. But so we find that we find that Razor. First off, we find that Razor has been on the Blue Lantern planet, and the reason is he's trying to learn to control his rage, so he's not a slave of the Red Ring. Now, in the comics, the Red Ring is enslaving. It's so powerful and dominant that most weaker minds get taken from, and very few Red Lanterns are actually in control of themselves. But in this, Saturday morning cartoon show, they're a little less lax with it. But it doesn't hit you that hard. But he's still looking to control himself, and he's hanging out with the Blue Lanterns. Now, the Blue Lanterns are, because of how rare it is, because you basically have to be like a saint, a preacher, somebody sincere and of faith, and because of how rare it is to be a great spiritual man, so to speak, that's why there's so few Blue Lanterns. And in this one, we see the second Blue Lantern, this elephant dude. I forget his name, but it doesn't matter. And so Hal Jordan gets to the planet, and he's there with Kilowog and Aya. And the reason for this is he's come to ask Gannett for help. And then they didn't even realize Razor was there. And then they find Razor. They're all happy to see him. He's happy to see them. They notice how calm he is. And Aya says something along the lines of, out of all the places I calculated, this was one of them he would be, This would be basically the last place she would check for him. He goes, I know. And so what happens is, Gannett gets shown the Manhunters. They try to reactivate him, to talk to him, to see what his primary mission is and all that, and then they deactivate him. They go off. Gannett has something to show Hal, and during this time, Razor puts his foot in his mouth when it comes to Aya, talking about how these are machines and they don't have souls and blah blah blah. And he constantly putting his foot in his mouth throughout this entire episode, and it's dealing with Aya because he loves her. And then part of him thinks it's slightly delusional to love a machine that can't love you back, and he's imagining things. But what Gannett shows Hal is the Blue Lantern battery, the main battery, and he turns it on, and that shockwave sends blue energy outwards. The blue energy instantly turns lanterns into super lanterns, and then it reactivates the broken Manhunter. The Manhunter then attacks, and they all manage to take down this broken ass Manhunter quite easily. But and the next thing that happens is, after they take down after they take him down, Aya decides to reactivate it, take him away, and reactivate him. Especially after the comments Razor made, and they start talking, and she tries to convince him. Listen, she doesn't have to kill. He doesn't have to kill. She's trying to get him to change, and then that doesn't work out too well. The shockwave ends up hitting in space 3 other Manhunters who are in the area. So they go back to the source, and they're looking for the blue battery because it supercharges them. So now you have 3 supercharged, fully operational Manhunters versus 2 Green Lanterns. And the reason why I say 2 is Aya is off talking to the other Manhunter that was broken. Razor is useless on the blue planet. And the Blue Lantern's powers only increase the power of a Green Lantern. So in this situation, they're not much help, even though they try to be. Razor ends up coming up with a plan and has Saint Walker use the worm that he was playing with in the beginning of the episode, his pet, giant worm, to eat the battery, and actually takes out one of the Manhunters. So now it's 2 on 2. The fight keeps going now. It flashes. Aya's Manhunter tries to choke her out or something. I don't know, but he breaks in the process. And then Aya then notices that the guys are in trouble, so she goes back there to reason with the Manhunters to try to get them to change, even though she couldn't do it with the broken one. She figured she'd give it one more shot. Razor tells her to get out of there, and blah, blah, blah. And when the Manhunters stare at Razor, obviously they see emotion. When they stare at her long enough, and she was talking to Razor, emotion came out. Because she loves him. So they blast her, and let me explain something. You do not hurt a Red Lantern's chick in front of them. You don't want to make a Red Lantern angry. So Razor, even though on the blue planet that extinguishes the red flame, he goes berserk. Blue flames up and takes these remaining Manhunters out really quickly. And they're like, how is this even possible? They're like, his rage is too strong. Because you can't be fucking around with another man's chick. That's all I gotta say about that. You don't bitch slap a man's chick in front of him and don't think he won't knock you out. And so they decide to leave. Again, it says there'll be some time. Oh, because, by the way, let me explain. When the Blue Lantern got eaten by the worm, it depowered all of them to regular power. But anyway, so they go to leave. Gannon says it'll be a while before they can reignite the Blue Lantern, and Hal goes, until we take care of the Manhunter mess, you might want to put Hope on hold. And Gannon says, you could put the Lantern on hold, but you can't put Hope on hold. It'll always be there. So there you go. They leave. St. Walker offers Razor a chance to stay and continue his training. Razor says he feels like his path, he's on a different path, talking about going off with these guys. And he's like, but I feel like the anger today was righteous. So then now I know there are different types of anger. And so he bounces. Why? Because he wants to be with his chick. That's all good stuff. And that's how the episode ends. I'm going to give this episode I really enjoyed it. It had great elements. The animation, I love computer animated shows because the animation only gets better as the show progresses. So I thought this looked great. I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. It wasn't exactly a 4, but I absolutely loved this episode. I love the people in it. The whole thing. I like the Blue Lanterns personally. I love all of them actually, but I love the Blue Lanterns. I love, the subplot between Razor and Aya. I dig that. I thought it was incredibly badass that he reignited his fire, basically, on the blue planet. So that was cool. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where this show is going, and I believe the next episode. Hold on, let me pull it up. Has to do with Sinestro. All right, let's see. Yeah, the next episode is going to be called Prisoner of Sinestro. So, and he's a Green Lantern. So, he hasn't become a villain yet. So maybe this is the episode where he goes rogue and becomes bad. So it's interesting to see. And I can't wait until the Red Lanterns are or the Yellow Lanterns are coming, because it's going to happen. With the introduction of Sinestro, and you've been seeing the yellow element all around, so it's going to be awesome to see. But having said all that, I have no more to say about this. So click it up if you like it, comment if you must, subscribe if you can. I'm just going to say I enjoyed doing this DC Nation review, and this is alertwolf signing out.